What is up, everybody?
Surprise.
Welcome to another Tuesday night cash game action here at Poker on Air. Our Rubber City cash game is sadly will be our last one, but don't fret. Next week we'll be back with our Chase the Bracelet series with B Million on the table.
That's right.
Speaking of B Million, this is Bobby Miller, aka B Million. You'll see him in the chat. You hear his voice. It's not Tom Dwan. It is Bobby Million.
Thanks for
Miller. But tonight, 2-5 cash game, minimum buy-in of 500, max buy-in of 15. We got a few guys that max it out. No one bought it for min, so we got lots of monies on the table, lots of really good players. We have a Heartland Poker Tour runner-up, player of the year at our table. We have a lot of regulars that this is their livelihood. So
It's exciting.
are you excited, Bob?
This is like one of the most hyped up games I've been ready for. I mean, who doesn't like to see a bunch of cash on the table floating around?
Yeah, and of course, before Bobby gets to it, he'll let you know he's rooting for all the pain. So the deeper, the deeper the stacks, the more pain he roots for. I too. I mean, I feel no pain back here. I just feel happiness when
Exactly. It's not my money.
when things go crazy
Who
out
doesn't
there.
like pain when it's not your money?
We've seen some pretty big pots at our 1-2 game. So I can only imagine how big the pots will be tonight. So we're so glad everyone's here. If you can't tune in all night, check our past broadcasts if you want to check it out at a later date. But on that note, let's go see the players. Let's go get down to the table and introduce everyone. Starting in seat 1, the Soul Reader. You've seen him in chat. You see him on the table. You see him in movies such as Brokeback Mountain. It's not Jake Gyllenhaal, just kidding. It is Chris. Chris bought it for max of $1,500 tonight, and he you can tell by the expression on his face, he is ready to go.
He looks so hyped up right now. You don't even know.
Got that game face ready to rock and roll. Next to him is a local grinder. He travels the circuit playing poker for a living. His name is Trevor Renner, and he bought it for $1,000 tonight. He's been on our show a couple other times. He actually was the recipient of a huge pot that we'll talk about a little bit later on, but we wish Trevor the best of luck. Next to him, our resident muscle man, Maverick, a.k.a. Rick Parker. Rick bought in for $1,500 tonight. He's a staple on our show. He intimidates people with his look and his overall demeanor. So we wish him the best of luck as well. Next to him is Randy. Randy is from Chicago. Randy says, these guys are super soft. I'm going to come down and play against them. So he made the trip from the Windy City, ready to take on everyone else.
Did he say I'm from Chi-Town when he came in?
I don't know. I didn't hear.
I sure hope so.
I didn't hear North Side, South Side. You know, I don't know where he's from, but hopefully we'll get some information later on. He also bought it for the max of $1,500. Next to him is John. John is our he got runner-up, Heartland Poker Tour Player of the Year. So he didn't get runner-up in an event for the entire circuit. He recorded second most points for Player of the Year. So best luck to him. He also bought it for $1,000 tonight. Next to him his name is Pete. You guys will probably know him as White Ivy.
And the camera just ran into somebody.
That's how strong he is. He is with his mind. He can just telepathically control things. Pete also bought it for the max.
Looks like he just came from the gym.
Yeah, I'm not even going to step on that ground, but Pete's a solid player. Anxious to see how he plays against this field. Next to him is Matt. Matt's played on our show one other time. Pretty loose aggressive, I would say. He likes to mix it up. He's not afraid to fold, and he's gonna do his thing tonight. He also bought it for the max of $1,500. Next to him, you know him from the chat as Day Shift. We just know him as Carl V. Rocking the Syracuse hoodie and the John Hodgman lookalike contest winner. But Carl bought it for $725 tonight, and he's ready to knit his way into a victory.
He did say he had money behind, though.
He does have money
Just
to
in
buy.
case.
He bought it for $725 because I was joking around about how much he should buy in for, and I just blurted out $725, so he just ran with it. But lots of money on the table tonight.
Yeah, I think over 10,000.
Easily the most money we've had on the table at any of our broadcasts. So like we said, we're going out with a bang. We thank everyone for tuning in tonight. You will not be disappointed. I had an espresso drink, so I'm ready to rock and roll. Bobby's always ready to rock and roll. So let's get our dealer in place to shuffle up and deal and get this thing going. So, Mr. B Millions, do you have a front runner who you think might walk away with all the money tonight?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I know Carl plays really well. There's only people that I know like personally, so like obviously I'm gonna root for them. Carl, And Chris, I know, is a really good player. We've seen Rick on here. He plays pretty solid. So it's kind of hard to say at this level. I mean, it's better than our 1-2 games, I'll say for sure. Like, there's going to be some
the quality of play is definitely a notch above. This is not, we're not taking cracks anyway. These guys just do this for their livelihoods. So a lot of hours, a lot of hands in their history. They're ready to rock and roll. I said rock and roll like 18 times already.
I mean, hey, we're all
close
ready
to
to rock and roll.
We're close to Cleveland, right? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's what we're going for. Again, we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Looks like we got our dealer Jerry saddled up.
Oh, I forgot Pete was playing too. So the Pete's a solid player. I mean, this is going to be a game. I mean, it's going to be hard to really call a shot out.
So I think a lot of our players that have played before do go back and watch the past broadcast. But if Randy's a fan of the show and he's been watching every week, I think that gives him a little bit of an edge in the fact of he's seen it all.
I would agree. I mean, if he's watched every broadcast and seen everybody play, I mean, he kind of can get a gist of how people are going to play today. Randy's in C4, right?
Yeah.
After Murder Rick?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
C4, a.k.a. C5. It's kind of in between.
That's why I was confused.
I think everyone's going to be a little thrown off by the fact that Pete's wearing a tank top. This will be the first time he's ever shown off those impeccable guns. But, well, he's on pace to win every hand, so.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Have we had Matt on the game before?
Matt, this is Matt's second time. He played, I think he played in another, either 1-2 or 2-5 game. Pretty laggy. I think it's a fair way to explain it, how it went down before. But I kind of like him in this lineup.
I think it'd be good for the game. I heard he's quite the entertainer when it comes to playing hands.
He looks a little squirrely, doesn't he? He looks like he's kind of thinking some things like.
They should do some props or something.
Yeah.
Or some like mandatory straddles, $10.
Because the game's not big enough as it is. So
Like
let's pump it up some more.
I mean,
and there goes.
At the table, I'd have to.
Pete's
recommend.
never gonna lose, guys.
What, we dealt 2 hands and he's won both?
Yep.
That's not really a good thing. I hate winning early. Like I don't like to.
You kind of
sit down and just.
You kind of want to set the edge. You want to kind of set the tone. Like, look at me, I'm a super nit. I'll never bluff you. And then when some money gets in there, you're like, wah, wah, gotcha, sniped.
Sometimes you get the trap.
Sometimes you get the cheese.
It's a helmet quote for you guys.
Phil Helmet.
I'm not joking. It's really a helmet quote.
I think Pete might fold this one. But if you win the first 2, don't you see if you can just keep it going?
Yeah, why not?
Chris's turn with ace queen. Doesn't it seem like Chris gets that seat every week? Chris is always stuck in that first seat. He's just like.
Maybe he requested it. It's like a VIP thing.
Yeah, he just pays extra. All right, we got some hands going on here. Chris makes it 20. Mav calls on the button with Jack 9. John says, I can't fold to King 10. I'll come around. Pain.
Yes, please bring the pain.
Nice start for Chris. This is what I'm gonna be really interested in seeing tonight. Are bet sizing. I've noticed rewatching some of our old broadcasts or watching some Crush Live poker videos that involve our material. Oh wow, what a turn card for John. That our 1-2 games, bet sizing is kind of interesting. A lot of like smallish bets where people are not getting max value. Everyone at this table understands max value, so they're gonna bet as much as possibly they can to get called.
And I hope they do, because I hate. That's like one thing that like makes me cringe sometimes when people's bet sizes. It's just like don't you want money? Don't you want more?
This sizing is kind of interesting.
260.
I was just gonna say, it looked like Chris almost bet not enough, and it allowed John.
Kind of opened the door for.
The door got kicked wide open, Steven Seagal style.
I don't know if the raise or the bet really mattered much right there though, because I think with his hand, I think he was like already made the decision. Like, I have a pair and the nut flush draw, and a backdoor straight draw that can't hit now. He has everything. I don't know.
just seemed like if I was Chris, I don't know. I mean, maybe I think in like our 1-2 normal like recreational games, Bart Haynes talks a lot about bet folding. This situation, I don't think it's quite the same just because our players are so good. Wow, John gets it done.
Easy peasy.
3 hands in, we already have a pot, $500.
Easy peasy.
John looks like somebody, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Anybody in chat have any idea? I think he looks like somebody. I just can't quite place it. Like a rogue train conductor? I don't know. He went off the rails one too many times. All right, Bun's gonna be moving over to Randy. Puts Matt under the gun. Looks like Pete and Chris have kind of applied the raise to 20 for the table. Looks like everyone's kind of getting in the same groove here. Small 3-bet size though. Mav makes it 20. Randy repops to 55. It's Randy. Randy.
Randy, the man. The one and only.
So when we first kind of talked about the concept of this game, and playing this deep, I kind of thought that people might, for lack of a better term, kind of be pussyfooting around a little bit, kind of like they don't want to get stacks in, not necessarily stacks in, but they don't want to play these big pots because they all kind of know that like they're all kind of balanced and kind of equal. I don't think that's gonna be the case anymore.
I don't think it is either.
I think everyone's just like, I want the money any way I can get it.
I think with them being so deep for this game, I think it's gonna make for some actually more interesting play than you would think.
It just we're gonna see so much post flop stuff, opposed to I think 1-2 where we see a lot of pre-flop action. It's like 3-bet, 4-bet, shipping it in. When you're playing 300 BBs deep, it just gets kind of more post-flop action, and the guys that had the better post-flop game are going to succeed in this format.
I think the game is small for a lot of those guys. Like, it's time to go. Just playing real loose. What is it? It's,
Okay, we're good.
I think it's
It's like Mr. Renner. Gonna open up with Queen Jack off. Undergun +1. Pete with Ace Queen again. And since they are so deep, we might see a lot more just calling pre-flop. Once the game is kind of settles in. Kapuya. Is he gonna do it again?
I mean,
he just comes on his show and
he just comes on and just
gonna make straight flushes.
It's no big deal. Okay. All right.
Too much time together.
Jesus. You just lay off. All right. Did anybody hear that echo? Because it sounded like an echo. No big deal. No big deal.
I feel like mine was first. Now, do you think Trevor's checking here to induce, or is he just playing pot control?
I feel like it's just pot control. I don't see.
And now he knows, like, Pete's never checking the ace, never checking the king. And Trevor's just going
And
to
I
try to
imagine that's
value
it.
here.
Value bet. Pete's gonna fold, and Pete finally loses a hand.
What? It's possible? I wasn't aware.
It is. It's definitely possible.
Did he fold yet?
No, I mean he's thinking.
I mean, Trevor only bet $30.
I mean he might get nasty here. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. On 30.
120.
Kind of surprised Trevor didn't snap here.
I mean he does only have the queen of clubs, and
Maybe he's putting him.
I-
Maybe he's putting
I
him
just
on
don't know
7
like
8
what.
clubs.
Yeah, like what.
Because you have
I don't
7
know
8
what
clubs
king-
exactly.
I don't know what king or ace you could have.
Yep. Ooh. I thought you grabbed a bunch.
Boom.
Yeah,
You're done, son.
I think in Trevor's mind he actually snapped, but like he just was just gonna be like, you know what, I'm just gonna think this through, make sure I don't make any sort of weird mistakes, and makes the correct call. It's not only that Pete loses first hand, he lost a nice little chunk there.
Poke Girl says in the chat, Murder Rick looks like his arms are murdering that shirt.
His shirt can't be. If his shirt could like make a noise, it'd probably be. I think that's the sound of a shirt right now. So you think he works out, or just like cement injections into his arms?
It's all natural, dude. It's all about the diet, you know. Strict regimen of.
I want to see
Steel
I want to see
and-
somebody like Photoshop his arms on a baby and show like everyone what he looked like at the age of 4.
Whoever's good at Photoshop now, do it.
Do it. We want to Photoshop pros. Thanks for the new sub. S1G19P1. Appreciate it. AA Ron also has that blue chip. Thank you so much. So we had a raise by Mav, I do believe. John called. The 9s remain in the lead. I think I might have messed up that pre-flop.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think John raised and Mav called. Maybe went limp call. Something you see often when people in an early position, they tend to just limp with their pairs below, typically below like 8s, like 7s and down they'll limp, 8s and above they'll usually raise. Jack ball. Nope, just the ace. But Maverick decided to limp call with 9s. Maybe didn't want to raise and get 3-bet and be in a funky spot out of position.
I would say that's all kind of dependent on the way other players are playing at the table, which it's too early to kind of know. But whether or not you're going to raise hands like that or limp in.
Right. Think about this bet sizing here by John.
I mean, he wants it. He's like, give me the money. Give me a little, break me off a little pork chop.
Does it look too much like
That's that.
I want some pork chops for dinner?
I think it does.
I mean,
I mean, it's below half pot. It's like, it's super small. It's almost like screaming like, I have you beat.
Yeah.
Like, get on me.
Yeah, I'm always like, I might just be leveling myself, but I'm always trying to figure out how to make my bets look as most deceptive as possible. So like in a spot like that, I might bet like 100 into like 120 and make it look like I'm trying to bully Mav off of the possible best hand. Randy's showing off his pumpkin Scooby-Doo tattoo.
That was a little. I just got a little disclaimer for you guys.
Just so you guys know, these are the rules. This is a disclaimer. Check yourself before it is in fact wrecked. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Sounds like Mag Cray. That sounds like more Cray than possible. Says he could Photoshop that. So Mag Cray, once you get it locked and loaded, tweet it to @PokerOnAir, and we'll see if we can somehow put it on the screen for everyone to see. It's so nasty.
That would be amazing. I might even become like a mascot of some sort.
It should only be used as such.
No.
What if we had a billboard? We had a Poker on Air billboard with Mav, with his body and a baby head, just like.
Oh, I mean, honestly, it has to be the baby rage emote.
Like under $200, like
Perfect.
man.
on Mav's body.
Yeah.
I love
Like
it.
they would be like similar, not quite as nice, but like similar to like the ones you see at like Universal Studios. Like
Pete says, I'm tired of you boys gawking at these guns. I gotta tuck them away. Fold around to Carl.
The whole thing. Don't worry about it. I'll let you play. And then you need
I mean, I'm like you though. I'm kind of like a fan of like bigger bets. I don't know. I like to get the money in there. Like if somebody's gonna make a wrong decision and call me, I want to get the most.
Repeat that concept a little bit for the folks at home.
I mean, it's not really a concept. Well, I mean, I guess you could call it a concept, but I mean, if somebody's gonna call a $60 bet, but they'll also call a $110 bet, which bet would you make? Which one would you? I would like to get the 110, please.
Yeah, you could buy a new video game with that extra $50 you just made. Instead, you're just wishing you had
That's
the
right.
new video game that's out there, but you can't afford it because you only made it 60 instead of 110.
Yeah, and there goes that one steak dinner. Now your date's lonely.
Yep. Now you're going to Steak and Shake instead of
That's right.
Prime Steakhouse. Pete and Chris going at it here. Chris isn't here the old 5-6. If you're in there with 5-6 and you make a pair, you can't generally fold the one bet, so he's going to see the turn card.
I mean, plus he has that 2-pair equity.
Boom. There it is. Not the two pair I think you were talking of, but Pete's still coming with the heat here, though.
Pete, like, he just like loaded up the gun today, and he's just blasting off everywhere.
Yep. In this particular spot, right in Chris's face. I don't think Chris minds, though. I think he's going to call again.
Oh, boy.
Chris is never raising, right? He's just trying to contemplate if calling is legit.
Yeah, I think that's what he's doing. I don't see him. I mean,
Kind of like Chris is posing for a portrait. He has not moved.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad spot for a raise. I mean, because he has to assume, I mean, if he's calling here. I think calling's fine too, because he's going to pretty much shut down on the river if he's bluffing. I mean, what's he going to do? Bet $2 million on the.
I don't know how deep his pockets are, but I don't think 2 million's in play.
I feel like.
I think it's a spot where it's like if Chris raises, all worse folds, only better continues.
Yeah, I mean, like if Pete had a queen here, or anything else, but oh, hello there.
Now he's got fives and honeys.
But it's still, I mean, Pete would be super nasty to like rep the queen and see what happens.
So now
Bet
Pete,
fold.
now Pete checks. Is Chris gonna? I mean, I know he's gonna bet, but like, is there any?
175.
I mean, the hand's pretty much over. There's nothing Pete can do now. Like he couldn't just. There's no check raising on the river there. Like
No. Once he
it's not-
winks and is like, oh brother.
Because he would never ever check a queen on the river. Like if Chris
No.
calls the turn, he's never gonna check on the river and just hope that Chris bets when he has the nuts, pretty much.
So do
Like,
you think right now he's trying to figure out if Pete or if he's trying to think about if Chris has some sort of like ace X of diamonds, and they might be
yeah,
chopping.
possibly. I mean,
But in a spot like this, where it's 175 to win 392, and your best possible guess is to chop. I mean, there's busted draws out there. There's busted straight draw, busted flush draw. Problem is the board's paired twice, so it's very much like, am I just chopping or?
You'd have to have a real sick nasty read on him. I don't see a reason to even try to make a call just to chop. I would just probably let this one go and then continue playing my poker Pete game. Let them guns back out and start going aggro.
Ever since the guns went away, he's been in trouble. So I think this is where kind of what I was talking about. Chris betting 175 looks, I mean, it's a pretty good sized bet. That's like 3/4 pot. So it's very deceptive. So it's not a please call me bet. It's not please go away. It's just
a do you really want to lose 175 rated bet?
Basically, we're checking Pete's mole for melanoma.
I think he's checking his pulse.
I think he's okay. Is he counting it out? I think he's asked to confirm how much it was.
Aaron says it's hard to fold on the river with ace high.
He calls.
And he called and sees the bad news. He's like, oh, crap. But, yeah, Aaron, you would know about all that ace high calling on TV.
Dude, Aaron does not give two diddly poops about not calling with ace high on the river. He knows the power. Nice hand for Chris.
Can we go live straddle?
Okay, so the lid is officially off this game, and these guys are not afraid to gamble.
All it takes is, for me at least, when I'm at the table, all it takes is like one cooler of a hand or like one pot that I just like lose, and I just make a bad decision or something to just get me going. And then I just let loose after that. I don't know what it is.
So you're saying sometimes you like when you lose one early?
It's like it just gets me going.
It's like for a boxer, they get that first punch in the nose.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, it's on.
It's weird. It's like, I know it's not like any sort of strategy or it's not logical or anything, but like for whatever reason, I'll play pretty straightforward. I'll observe the table, and then once that one hand happens,
no, I think it's
I'm
good.
in there.
So we got a little fun flop here.
It is.
So I do believe Pete straddled. It folds to Mav on a button, who makes it 30. John calls with his 2 jacks. Pete completes out of the straddle with 7 deuce of clubs. Mav flops top and bottom. John gets out flopped with the jacks, and Pete has a flush draw. Pete might squeeze here, even though
I mean, hey, he's
at
that level.
Just calling.
I was gonna say he's at that level I was just talking about, where you lose a pot and you're just like, all right, it's time to go hard.
That might kill Mav's action with John, but Pete's still gonna be hanging around here with the flush draw, I imagine. All right, if you're Mav, what do you bet here? You got 1.3 behind, basically 1.1 effective. I think one. Sorry, I cut you off. I asked you a question. I cut you off.
I would honestly bet like 170 or like 180 is good.
I think I would have made it a full 2. You basically have the nuts, right? You have top and bottom. John possibly had a king queen there, but you gotta assume that at least one player has a draw. So you might as well charge a draw for max. Now Pete says 180 to win almost 6.
He says, you know what? I'm gonna put a little bit more in. Which this is kind of interesting because he really only has a 7 high flush draw, and I mean, typically Mav isn't betting with air. You know what I mean? Like what?
No, not into two people. Maybe heads up, he might be doing that, but not into two people. I think Mav has kind of solidified the fact that he has a real hand. It's just that I think Pete knows he has equity. But if Mav raised the button, he very well could have Queen X of clubs. I mean, Pete could be drawing really, really slim. Pete also put enough money in there. I think he's kind of committed himself. So Mav's trying to decide if he feels happy enough to go with the Queen 4. Or he can't call, right? He has to ship it in, right?
If he saw how if he's like been paying attention to Pete's play thus far, hasn't been much to go from. But I mean, you've already seen a few hands where Pete's been kind of just firing off, like.
So okay, so let's paint a little bit of a picture here. Mav knows Pete. Pete knows Mav. Pete will play the biggest games in town if available. They just don't go off often enough. And Mav knows that Pete thinks on a higher level. So it's one of those situations where is this more in Pete's comfort zone, playing really deep, slightly higher stakes than probably most guys are used to, and is Pete trying to abuse that? Or
I mean, honestly, it does seem like he's been doing different things than we've seen him do, and I think it's because he's so deep and it's a bigger game, and you're kind of able to do that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not something that you can typically do at like a 1-2 game because the plays you want to make or the things you do aren't going to work.
I hear all in?
Yep, all in.
And I'm pretty sure Pete made himself on purpose for this to happen.
So, I mean, at this point, I feel like you kind of just have to go with it and just hope and pray.
So, question is, are we rooting for Pete to have 2.5K in front of him, or Maverick to have about
Well, I would never say anything against Murder Rick.
Ooh, good point.
So I'm just gonna hush up on that one, but
fair enough. So let's just say hypothetically, we have two players of their style. Which one would you rather have?
Hypothetically, I'd go with the Poker Pete.
I'm gonna run it twice here.
Yeah, let's do it 3 times. So somebody's got 2/3.
3 times. So they're doing it 3 times, so somebody gets 2/3 of the pot. Which, honestly, if I was Rick, I'd say 2 times.
All right, so let's shoot the overhead cam.
I would just run it once, dude. Just take the pain.
Oh, he takes it all. My. He takes it the whole rip. Well, on the upside, he won the first one, so our chip counts are going to be accurate.
That's good.
On the downside, Pete is out 15 hundo in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes it's like that, though. I mean, it's not like he like played crazy or did anything super outrageous, but
I mean,
just a couple bad timings and.
Mav obviously was a favorite to win that, but how sick would have been if Pete would have just made clubs on all 3.
Oh, it would have been nice.
Like I would like to see like the mathematical breakdown. Carl still sitting on his original stack. Mav up, looks like 1,100 or so. A couple other guys up a smidge.
And this is to answer all your guys' questions when you go, hey, where's that at? There it is. It's right there, Akron, Ohio. This is what we're playing. This is the blinds.
Some of them USDs.
But just a reminder, it is a 2-5 game. $500 to $1,500 max buy-in. And I'm with Trevor Greenwald, and I'm Bobby Miller.
And we're here to please.
We are here to please. Word on the street is Pete's rebuying. There he is. He's rushed back on the table.
He goes, I cannot afford to miss any hands.
All black chips. Looks like he may have bought in for 1,000. Nope. I'm sorry. I didn't mean 1,000. I meant 1,500. He bought in for the max again. So he's trying to get unstuck, and this might be fun. I'm excited.
You're excited. I mean, I think it's an understatement.
Okay.
Maverick says, I'm going to just get on this heater and stay there.
20.
Matt makes it 20 in the cutoff. Pete, who I don't think tilts, is just like, you know what? You can't beat me every hand, right?
You can't beat me every hand, except this one. And Mav is just running good. Poker Pete has no hearts, but he does have heart.
We'll see. We will see how much heart he indeed has. This is our first pot size bet. Oh, Pete just... I think Pete was folding as the bet was coming out.
Pete had fold to any bet clicked. So all you Poker Pete fans out there, I need to hear you in the chat because he needs some of that vibe. Tony beat me to it in the chat.
Welcome all of our new viewers. Thank you for hanging out with us. We do appreciate it. This is indeed our biggest cash game to date. 500 min, 1500 max, 2-5 no limit.
15.
Are you serious? Dude, you got to give him back.
Wow.
You got to give him back. You can't just keep
You
him.
can't- what do you just hold on to the cards?
Only reason I know he actually did give him back is because the King of Hearts was on the flop last time.
Oh, it looks like Magic Mike is a troll.
Yep. If you'd like to go back to your bridge, I'm sure your old lady misses you. Looks like the buttons have been moved over to
We
somebody.
don't know. It's a mystery.
Move over to Carl. Carl's made the button. Or Matt, rather. I mean Pete. I mean, I had like a, 1 in 5 chance.
And speaking of the other show that Bart Hansen is commentating, he will be here sometime soon.
August 11th.
August 11th.
August 11th, Bart Hansen will be in studio on our table playing 2-5. It's going to be a phenomenal game.
Right. 20. There's 2 easy.
Very excited. It's not every day I get to commentate on another commentator's play.
Kind of cool.
But I will be, starting next Thursday, be commentating on Bobby B. Million's play because Chase the Bracelet will be up and running next Thursday, July 30th. It'll be a 12-week, season-long endeavor for our players. There'll be 8 of them, all vying for a $1,500 World Series of Poker seat for next summer's WSOP.
How exciting.
So it's going to be 8 guys, or 6 guys, 2 ladies, all vying for, there's basically a free roll. They're free rolling into the WSOP. So one player will get to go out to Vegas next summer.
Oh, it's probably going to be me.
Bobby seems pretty
Nah, maybe
confident
not.
it's going to be him.
I'll have to brush up on my sit and go game because
But-
I haven't played a single table sit and go in a while.
We will see.
Well, since the last time we aired one, which was not too long ago. But before that.
So yeah, we were very excited for our flagship show, Chase the Bracelet. It will be season 5, I do believe. We've been doing it just on a smaller scale previous to this year. Obviously, this year we'll be airing on Twitch. Before we were airing on our own website, pokeronair.com. Boom. Can't miss that. 8 players, 12 games, 1 buy-in for a WSOP seat. Bob, have you been doing any dreaming yet about what event you'll be playing?
I haven't. I have not decided because I'm just going to focus on the task at hand, and then maybe once it becomes a thing, I'll start to think a little bit deeper about it. But I don't know. I'm thinking maybe like the monster. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird. Because
the extended play looked pretty nice.
that's what I'm leaning towards.
90
actually,
minute levels, 7,500 starting stack. Just as many ding dongs playing that event as they would in any other one. But I mean, your real goal though is to ship a bracelet, then play the main,
Yeah, I mean, just
beat
do the
November
whole thing.
Niner,
Like, why
and
not?
just start at the bottom.
And then just come back and commentate and just have my bracelets on.
Jingle jangle.
Just holding them out. I mean, I'll be the first person to actually wear their bracelet at the table. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that.
You have to.
Or would
I
I?
think you have. If you win a bracelet and you're playing on something televised, I think you have to wear it.
Why not?
I guess the rules.
Is it? Because I don't think I've ever seen people wear it.
Dude, they're everywhere. You gotta look closer. They're not as big as you would think.
That's what she said.
It's like Pete outflopped Randy. Randy's not going anywhere though.
That's just Randy from The Shy.
It is Randy from The Shy. He ain't so shy, is he? Pete being stuck the amount that he is, playing a little pot control with his ace-7. Possibly trying to induce Randy to bet river here. And he kind of only has like a bluff catcher. Is that $15? It was. I saw.
Wow.
it.
What? That's a blocking bet if I've ever seen one. And it worked.
Yeah, that was like a 500-pound offensive lineman blocking bet.
I can never believe when somebody bets that tiny into a pot. I pretty much just bet standard. I don't know.
Only time I might believe it, and I might just call anyhow just to prove that I'm right, is if it's like old man or an old woman who plays like 1% of hands, and they finally like bet into me. I'm like, yeah, you probably have it.
Don't want to scare them off. I got the nuts.
I want to make sure you called.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but I don't know. I more often than not just don't believe that. It would be sick though if you raised and then you got re-raised and then you're just like in this like weird spot. But I just don't think that anybody's gonna bet any type of hand that they want to get value from that small into a pot.
Pete should have made it 30.
yeah, that would have been super level.
It's on the day shift. A couple sevens.
Without cashing in.
Yeah, people in the chat, Pete put a shirt on. They thought I was a different person. Oh, that's Pokey Girl. The old sausage wallet.
Sausage wallet.
All right.
So Carl makes it 15. Chris calls from the button. Matt has the 8-5. He says, why not? Yes, Carl is most definitely a nit, but he's our favorite nit. Carl's going to continue here. Not the best flop, but certainly not the worst. Neither player re-raised, so the prospects of them having an ace are fairly slim. Mav's like, I do have runners for a straight, but no thank you. And Carl's scoop-a-loops.
Scoop-a-loop.
Carl's now up $30, I do believe.
Hey, go Carl.
I think Matt, I'm not going to call him a ticking time bomb, but I feel like there's going to be a point in time where it's almost like he flips the switch and he just goes into more of an aggressive mode, which I'm looking forward to.
I am definitely a fan of.
Well, he didn't really flip a switch, but he did raise for the first time with a couple AAs. With the AA Ron, gets it done. There's a shot of our chip counts. Mav still leading. Chris up $100. Pete's only down 1,400. He'll get there. Don't worry about him.
I made it like 2,800. One of the limpers re-raised pretty
I wonder if Randy owns a pumpkin patch. He's got pumpkins on his shirt, pumpkins tattooed on his arm. Maybe it's a family business.
The run it up can umpkin.
There you go.
You know I was the creator of that, right?
I
I tweeted it out and then he ran with it. No credit to B Million.
Mr. Renner now. Looks like the straddle is on. So he makes it 30. Mav calls the threes. Looks like Mav's gonna have a hard time making a set. Oh my gosh, he hits the one outer. Here we go. We can have some more fun here.
Oh boy. Dude, Mav came and he just wants to get all the chips. He's like, I heard you guys got a deep game.
He's like,
Let's get it all.
I have several ways to break a game. One, with my impressive biceps. Two, with just taking everyone's money. So I think I went 30-30 again on the flop. So it was 30 pre, 30 on the flop. It's like Trevor's cutting out. It's like, gonna make it 50 here? Mav seems unfazed. So if you're Mav, do you pop it here? It looks
I
really...
feel like it's a good time.
I think you have to, because you have to start building a pot because you have such a strong hand. But it's so strong. 110?
It looks like he went small. 110.
Someone call that dinky. It's a dinky raise.
I think I made it like a $1.50. Like I said, I'm more. I just want to get the chips in.
Now Trevor Renner's trying to figure out, like, does Mav have some sort of 9 that he's overvaluing? Did he flop a set? A funky 2 pair? I mean, there's like a couple gross gut shots that, I guess one gross gut shot that got there. Well, 2 of them, 8-6 and 4-6. Queen for the pain? No, thank you.
So you gotta imagine. Well, I mean that's not the greatest river, but so
Alright.
you gotta imagine he would.
Optimal sickness right now would be check, bet, raise, re-raise, ship, fold.
Okay.
That's maximum sickness. If Trevor Renner can somehow represent an 8 for some reason, pocket 8s playing like that. I don't think Mav has really any idea what Trevor has here. He knows he's strong, but I don't think he realizes he's as strong as 2 queens. Another small bet. 115 to 350.
And he gets paid.
Pay the man his money.
He said, "Not this time, circuit runner."
Mav is just cleaning up everybody right now.
What did Mav start with? He started with full, right?
Yep.
1500.
Do you have a full double now? I think he might be sitting on 3.
He's pretty close. Does he?
It says 2.3, but he definitely made more than that. I
Yeah.
know.
'Cause, I mean,
We'll see here once it rolls around to him.
I feel like they might have had him in for 1,000 to start, even though it was 1500.
That could have been a glitch on our part.
Because didn't he take most of Pete's chips?
He
Was
took
that like-
about I want to say like 8 of it, maybe 9.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then he would already be at like 2,500. I don't know. We'll see if we can figure that
He
out.
was at 26, so oh, he just missed it. He folded too fast.
He folded too fast. The king's getting spread around the table.
John's turn.
Did he just call? Is that right?
He made it 15. Pete called it.
I was about to say. See if Poker Pete still has that aggression that he had. Like he wanted to do it, but he's like, you know what? I'm stuck. I'm not gonna do that.
Pete's like, yeah. Does everyone just have the nuts all the time?
Oh, our fan Firewall's in here.
Uh-oh.
Our good buddy Firewall.
What's up, Firewall?
Yes, it is true. 726 viewers right now.
Boom, 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 boom.
Let's get it, Toby. Oh, Toby's excited also. If you got, for all you new to the stream, Toby is our good buddy in the commentating booth here. That he just shouts out random things every once in a while. He doesn't really have any anything.
He has
really
no real
valuable.
skills other than just screaming out every now and again. All right, looks like everyone's just munching on some knit burgers. No pickles, please. Battle of Blinds here. 7-6-9-7. Matt is just calling with the 6 of hearts. As the board plays, they will chop this sucker up, get their money back. Luckily for them, there's no rake, so they get their full refund.
No rake is a beautiful thing.
It is. I mean, a lot of times it's hard to beat the rake. When there's no rake, it's just max prof.
I see Pokey Girl's picking up on the poker lingo.
She is. Is she knitting a sweater right now? That you can wear on poker, or that you can wear on.
Quite possibly.
You can wear on Chase the Bracelet.
That would be actually pretty awesome.
Chris is a very attractive 9-10 suited under the gun. Makes it 20. Trevor with an equally as attractive 8-9 suited.
That is a very attractive hand, 10-9 suited.
I don't hate it.
It's very close to your favorite hand.
Very, very close. If you can morph their hands. So when you're under the gun and you raise with a 9-10 suited, the 7-5-2 2-club flop is never the worst.
Not at all. 2 overs, flush draw, and backdoor straight
So here's a spot where Trevor Renner is in position here. Oh, I thought he was going to get frisky. But I was thinking, like, if he assumes that Chris is raising with big cards, and he knows that that generally whiffs all big cards, then maybe he might put a raise in there. But for his sake, he got lucky that he did not, because Chris basically flopped the good goods. Even without a pair.
The double
and he
goods.
had him dominated. So it was a really good start for Chris.
Some say being dominated is a good thing, and some.
I've seen that movie. They talk about that a lot. What's that color when you mix black and white?
Gray.
Yeah, that one.
There's a bunch of shades of it too.
So
out
many.
there somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's about curtains.
Mm-hmm. 20. Now I'm ready for some crazy pain. Let's see. Let's see. Pete get stacked
we had
again.
someone get
No, I'm
felted
just
in 30 minutes. You're like, I need more.
it's addicting.
You're a full-blown addict. I think you might need to seek counseling. How are you gonna feel when people are rooting for your pain?
It's gonna be awesome.
When the tables have turned.
I can't wait.
Starting next Thursday.
I'm concerned too. Usually we have a table full of beards, and we don't have it this time. There's no beards.
We got 2,
Where's
right?
the
We got John Hodgman in seat 8 and Chris in seat 1.
He's folding every hand. He's not getting any camera time.
That's true. Day shift. So Pete here with second pair. Randy blasting twice at it though. Pete may have had his guns out earlier, but he definitely did not wear his folding pants. Ugh, what a river. Randy best a gut shot twice. I guess he turned double gutter.
115.
Pete makes 2 pair in the river.
Gosh, Pete is just getting beat up. This is basically all the money he's won from our show anyway, like throughout all the sessions he's played on here. So, dude, he's kind of free rolling. I don't know if that's true or not.
He's still in the profit zone. He's like, man, like really 2 pair? You couldn't just give me a 9 in the river and make him bluff one more time?
Is he gonna tilt? That's the question. I don't know if we've ever seen him tilt. I don't know if he's capable of tilting, but
If you keep rooting for as much pain as you are, there might not be any other choice
yeah, I
but
need
to
to quit.
tilt.
I need to quit because that's gonna that karma's gonna come back, and when I'm playing on Chase the Bracelets,
And you're first out every week,
yeah, I'm gonna
and you
feel
get last
real bad.
place.
And it's always gonna be some kind of like sick cooler
Oh yeah.
that happens. It's not gonna be anything normal because of all the pain that I've wished upon people.
That's just how it works.
It's weird because when I play live, I don't root for pain. Maybe that's not true.
I was like, wow, I don't
Maybe that's
think
not so
I don't
true.
think I believe you.
20.
Here we go. Maybe it's some redemption for Pete.
Matt's got my hand. Pete with the honeys. We are going to go heads up here. Matt does have position.
Heads up.
My predictions can go bet forward here.
35.
So the action's going to begin on Randy. Folds over to Pete.
Point.
I like this version of Pete. It's fun.
Yeah, he's playing a lot.
So do you think that's just a style change from 1-2 to 2-5? Like it just kind of allows you to.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like a lot of the stuff that's being done or the way hands are being played are going to be totally different than, say, just a typical like 1-2 game, because it's harder to do things like that against players that aren't going to understand what you're trying to accomplish or kind of respect your moves, you know, that you're trying to make. Like, I hate saying the word moves. Respect your plays. Like, you know, there's just things you can do when you're deeper and at a higher stake game.
When you're all possibly on level 3, level 4, opposed to when you're on level 3, level 4, and everyone else is on level 1.
Yeah, I mean, when you play 1-2, you literally have to kind of dumb down your game, and we've talked about this before. It's super hard to do that.
So,
but you basically are just playing like ABC poker. I mean, you're playing
face up,
Yeah.
just getting value, nothing really all that tricky. So I guess my next question is, so when the money value goes up, are you looking at making money as big blinds, or are you looking at it like making like I made $100 or I made $200, or are you looking at like I made 20 big blinds?
I think